Welcome back, space adventurers, builders, and budding game devs. Today we're diving deeper into the nuts and bolts of our RPG engine, specifically the GameAction scripts. For those who enjoyed the map editor, you're in for a treat. This part gets even more interactive. Let's bring in our developer to show us what they've been up to.
GameAction class holds script, stored in dictionary on GameData.
Right. So every action the player or NPC can take is scripted in something called a GameAction, and each of these is neatly stored and managed in our GameData dictionary. This is like having a big filing cabinet for each possible interaction, from NPC dialogues to item pickups.
Commands split on semicolon trimmed. GameAction command holds each command, parses it into command name, destination, and source variables.
Ah, I see. So each GameAction script is essentially a list of commands, with each command getting broken down and processed. Imagine typing out a list of instructions for your favorite RPG character, but here each line does something specific, like setting variables, talking to NPCs, or triggering events.
Got if, else, and if working. Supports nested. Started for loops, special if blocks.
Ooh, now we're getting into the real power moves. Conditional logic like if and else statements lets the game decide what to do based on the player's actions. And nested if statements? Fancy. It means actions can get really complex, like if you have an item, then something happens, and if not, something else happens. And for loops, handy for repeating actions without having to write them out 1,000 times. Nice work.
For testing, NPC interact. Checks tile in front. If counter, checks further tile.
Aha! So when you approach an NPC and hit space, the game checks if anyone is standing right in front of you, or behind the counter if it's, say, a shopkeeper. That's actually huge. It makes interactions feel way more natural and immersive. So no more trying to talk to someone from 10 tiles away.
Game UI Builder shows dialogue, one letter at a time. Scrolls. Waits for player input. Closes when done.
And here comes the fancy interface. The Game UI Builder controls all those fun little moments, like text boxes for NPC conversations. Your avatar has set it up to display each message letter by letter, and the dialogue can even scroll. Plus, it waits for the player to hit space before moving on, so no accidental skipping.
GameData loads from DB game named GameData.00, organized with bools, ints, strings, actions.
Ah, so all the game's data, the variables that track if a chest is open, what items are in your inventory, and even the story dialogues, are loaded from a big old custom data file. It's like one master file that organizes everything by type: true-false values, numbers, text, and actions. Here's an example: start pos bools int strings actions. The start position, some flags for things like whether Garland is alive, plus strings that make up all the text you'll see in-game. Pretty efficient, right?
Example actions. NPC 1 says, "Hello world." Castle chest gives iron armor.
Perfect examples. So if you check Castle Chest 1, it sets a variable to give you iron armor, displays a message, and even disables the NPC after to prevent a repeat. It's these little scripted moments that bring the world to life. Really cool stuff. And there you have it, folks. We've got game actions driving the game logic, interactable NPCs, and a smooth UI for showing those classic RPG conversations. Big shout out to our developer here, who's been scripting up a storm to get this engine into shape. Stay tuned for the next devlog where we'll get even deeper into the UI and gameplay mechanics. See you soon, and remember, keep it worst.